As we enter the fall season, which is my favorite season, let's see what the gorgeous Citadel deck has to say about how to deal with change. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Karen, and today I'm reading from the Citadel Fantasy Oracle Deck by Fez Inkwright. If you would like to purchase this deck, it's going to be linked in the description below. I'm also going to be reading from the little booklet that this deck comes with. It's a lovely deck, has this octagonal shape to it, black and white artwork with accents of red and copper, inlays, really beautiful deck. I'm going to shuffle, and in the meantime, please remember to subscribe to this channel and send me a little thumbs up if you don't mind. I'd love to have this video pop up for other people who may be into this kind of thing. Fantasy oracle decks, or just oracle decks and tarot readings, especially from an intuitive and a Jungian perspective. I find that to be very interesting and intuitive. So I hope that you will also get a chance to watch some of the other videos on this channel. So today's reading is going to be about endings and the changing of the season. Depending on where you are in the world and when you're watching this video, you might be able to relate to what I'm about to say. But where I am right now, the earth is changing, the seasons are changing, summer is drawing to a close, and we're entering fall, which is actually my favorite season, autumn, fall. There's this energy in the air about endings and new beginnings. The school year is starting up again for many people as well. The summer is ending. So there's this incredible energy of endings and beginnings. So let's see what the cards have to say about endings and beginnings today. The aspirant, ambition, diligence, and setbacks. Let's look up in the book. The aspirant. The great hall is silent, the dimness of dusk settling in the corners. A beam of light pierces a single window, illuminating a figure knelt in meditation. The aspirant, child of fate, vessel of expectations, carries a great weight on their shoulders. With everyone's eyes on them, failure is no option. Above all, the aspirant craves greatness, but they're so focused on the finish line that they may not see the roadblocks waiting to trip them up. Don't let yourself fall into the same trap. Take a moment to reassess where you are right now so that you don't stumble when something goes wrong. Half the battle is won when you accept that you will face problems along the way. But whatever hurdles you encounter, know that they can be overcome. Interesting. So the aspirant is in the game, and they're playing the game, and everybody's eyes are on them. And there's a lot of pressure on them, but they have to focus on their practice, on what they know, on the lessons they've learned along the way. Next we have the warrior, perfectionism and burnout. Let's read from the book. The warrior. The ring of steel, the scuff of boots in the dirt, the shout of recruits echoes across the courtyard. The training ground is a place of hard work, of blood and sweat, of the singular pursuit of improvement, and the warrior strives for perfection, no matter the scars they gather in pursuit of their peak form. In your efforts to improve, you've set yourself in competition against something or someone, perhaps even an imagined perfect version of yourself. That primal need to win is driving you. It feels great to come out on top, no matter the damage you take in the meantime. Whether you learn to curb that impulse or use it to grab your goals, be aware of its presence. So the warrior energy is very powerful. And I think that we all have aspects of the aspirant and the aspects of the warrior. We have all of these things in all of us, and maybe they show up at different times. But the warrior energy is about competition. It's about getting in the fight. So the aspirant may be nervous even, or they may be sort of the new Olympics swimmer, right, who's competing for the first time. The warrior is more seasoned. The warrior is maybe a few years ahead of the aspirant, but on some level, the warrior stakes are more than just winning the game or getting an award. The warrior may be in it for life and death, right? This is somebody whose clan or tribe or community or whatever might be in peril, and they're a freedom fighter. They are fighting for liberation from invaders and occupiers. They are in it for life. come what may. And so what the card description says is that this could be a competitiveness that you even have towards or against your own self, right? So in the case of some people, that could be a literal warrior position that they find themselves in. But in a lot of the rest of us, we are often in battle with ourselves. We are battling our own imposter syndrome, our own sense of insecurity, inadequacy, procrastination, perfectionism, right? I know I am. And we have to be a warrior about it. We have to sometimes put on battle gear and use whatever tactics and ammunition against those parts of ourselves that are holding us back. And by that I mean it could mean discipline, having a set schedule, giving yourself rewards along the way, or making sure that you have the motivation and not just the motivation, but like the expectation to get the stuff done that you need to get done. Whether you need to work out, whether you need to eat a certain way, or avoid certain foods, or avoid certain practices or drinks and substances, the warrior spirit is important. We have to be warriors in aspects of our life, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be destructive. It doesn't have to be violent, but there has to be a certain amount of discipline and seriousness that goes into being a warrior. And I think that's a valuable energy to tap into if there's some part of your life that you're trying to gain control over, gain a sense of agency over your own life, your own aspect, your own health, your own practices and behaviors. Let's pick another card. The Musician, inspiration and gratitude. The Musician, a ship sits in the dock, ready and waiting to sail on the next tide. But while the sea demands patience, music drifts from the deck, and with it a voice, one that sings in celebration of the bounty that has brought them to the Citadel, and the promise of the next adventure ahead of them. Whatever the musician has, they have worked hard for it, and their gratitude and appreciation of their fortunes spurs them on to an even greater future. The musician is the dawn that follows the night, the hopeful optimism after a period of struggle. After facing your problems, you're now in alignment with your true self, or will be soon. And it's time to appreciate yourself for the struggles that you've come through. Given your achievements, you're also in a unique position to provide inspiration to others who are still facing their own personal darkness. So the musician is about that moment where you set your troubles down, where you set your burdens down, and enjoy some music, enjoy some moments of gratitude, pleasure, being present in the moment. And music has that ability to do that, right? Music can take you back. Music can take you forward. Music can bring you to the present. Music is an amazing gift, if you want to call it that, a blessing. And it can be used in very negative ways as well. So it's important to appreciate good music and the music that uplifts you, that makes you feel heard and seen. So these three cards together, and in the context of what we started this discussion with about beginnings and endings and the season of fall and the changes of the season, this is very interesting because this is more about you have been through a pretty difficult time in your life in terms of wanting to aspire to something and maybe have some battle scars to prove that you have been in that position. Whether something was gained or lost, you fought, you gave it a good shot, and you were allowed to take some time to enjoy some sensory pleasures. That could include music, and I think it should. And just listen to some of your favorite songs, old songs, discover something new. I think it's really important to incorporate music in your life. I like a variety of music. I've always had a very eclectic taste in music. I have loved a lot of rock music, even pop music. I've loved some electronic music. I also love music from all around the world, from different cultures, from Celtic to music from West Asia and Arabic cultures, Persian music. I'm from South Asia, so I love a lot of music that's from South Asia. I love music from Tanzania. I'm really into some Tanzanian musicians now. I love music from Korea, not just K-pop, but also K-pop. But also there's some beautiful music coming out of Korea, South Korea, and I also love music from Latin America. I love Latin music. So there's a lot of amazing music around the world. I'm sure you have your own types of music that you love. I also love fusion music. I love European classical music, like Mozart and Beethoven and all that. So there's a lot of variety that you can really tap into and allow yourself to explore other genres of music, maybe something you haven't heard before, maybe something you are not used to, There's some beautiful stuff out there. So I would recommend that as the seasons change, that you connect with that part of yourself that enjoys music, that loves, maybe make music. If you are a kind of person who knows how to play an instrument or can sing, incorporate that in your life. And it'll help you with the transitional period that we're living through, both as a change in the season, but also in the larger scheme of things. The world is going through a transition. This is the Citadel deck, and whatever city or town or area that you live in the world, I'm sure you know that there are a lot of changes happening, maybe in your immediate surroundings, but also in the larger context where you live, in the larger country and wherever you live, right? So one of the ways that we can help each other and ourselves through these changes is through music. And I think it's really important that we incorporate music in our lives one way or another. If you can sing, even if you don't think you sing very well, just sing alone. Sing and learn to sing. There's so many ways you can learn to sing better. The Alchemist. Let's read about that. The Alchemist, balance, invention, and destruction. Colored liquids and strange-smelling chemicals bubble from inside of glass apparatus. A creature watches you from inside of a bottle, blinking its single eye, and in the middle of the chaos sits the alchemist, surrounded by an infinity of notes. It takes genius to create, and the alchemist is the embodiment of invention. They understand the core principle of creation, solve et coagula. Something must be destroyed in order to create anew. That place of safety must be burnt down in order to rebuild from the ashes. The alchemist is not afraid to take drastic measures in order to achieve their goals, in order to create, be it a new project, a new chapter in your life, or perhaps a new relationship. Something must first be dismantled in order to make space. But in alchemy, nothing is ever truly destroyed. The new is built on the foundations of what has come before, and there are lessons to be learned from the rubble. I love that. The alchemist is the ultimate creator, the one who can take something and recycle it, upcycle it, transform it in a way that it becomes something completely different, more useful, more valuable. The idea of the alchemist as somebody who can turn lead to gold, it's not just about physical lead, gold, and all of that, but it's also about being able to change something that might have been heavy and difficult to carry, like lead, into gold. So for example, if you can take the pain and the suffering and the scars that you have experienced, use inspiration and creativity, whether in the form of music or any other kind of art form, and create something beautiful out of that, out of your scars, out of your pain, out of your trauma, whether it's through writing something, painting something, making some kind of music, you are an alchemist because you have taken something hard like lead and turned it into gold, which is something that's shiny and beautiful and appreciated by a lot of people. And that's where a lot of art comes from. Art is alchemy. And I don't mean just art that hangs in art halls or that's sold for millions of dollars. I mean everyday life art. Art that is about everyday life, that art that anyone can make. And I think that that is where real alchemy goes in, that if you can tap into that part of yourself that takes all the pain and suffering that you have experienced or witnessed for that matter, and converts it, transforms it through your creative energy into something beautiful. And you have that ability. You don't have to be Picasso or Mozart or some famous Hollywood person to be able to do that. There's no gatekeeping. Nobody's telling you not to make your own art. You don't have to just be a consumer of art. You are allowed to make your own, even if nobody sees it or like 5 people in your world see it. It's really important that we recognize each of us has the spark of being some kind of creator, and we are allowed to exercise that, and it's okay, and we can appreciate each other's little bits of art. And you can do something small. You can just start with something small. If you have markers, if you have crayons, if you have color pencils, paint something, draw something, color something. If you have a pen and paper, just write something down that you remember. Write a letter to a former self of yours. Write a letter to somebody who has died that you would love to write to. You have then created something artistic. Whether you share it with the world or not, it doesn't even matter. Because you have converted something that was painful, that was traumatic, that was stuck in your brain, into something beautiful. Even if the only audience is you. You are the only audience that actually matters. Just think about it. The world will never give you enough validation if you don't give it to yourself. So ultimately, even if nobody else sees your art, you are an artist. Of course, I would recommend that you share it. It can be very nice, and be supportive of others who share their art. But even if you don't share it, it's in the creation of it that you are an alchemist. And I think it's so important that all of us really understand what that means. As the seasons change, as you change, as the world changes, I think it's very important for us to dare to dream and dare to put into practice the things that we dream about, the hopes that we have, and put something good out there in the world. And even if we're the only ones looking at it, it's very important because you are the audience member that matters the most. I hope that this has been helpful and transformative in some way. I hope that you will take the time as we approach fall and then winter, and as the seasons change, as they always do, to appreciate the climate, the weather, the earth, the water, everything around you and everybody around you, and take some time for yourself and transform something that has been a source of pain for you into something beautiful in whatever way that you can. And if you want to share it, please tell me all about it, and I would love to see it or hear it or know about it at least. Please leave me a comment. I would really like to hear from you if you do anything like that. Be the alchemist you wish to see in the world. Thank you for listening. If you do want to purchase this deck, it's going to be in the description below. Come back and I'll do another reading for you. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.